issues, development issues within a community. And of course, we know what a community is. A community, it's where a lot of people stay. It could be a whole local government area. It could be half of a local government area. It could be a couple of wards that make a community. It could be a ward itself that makes a community. Now, each of these communities, sometimes you have a need. Maybe you want to alleviate poverty. Sometimes you want to improve water supply. And maybe sometime you want to improve school enrollment. And maybe sometime too, you want to improve access to health facility within the community. And the community desperately wants to do any of these things. And so you now have a project at hand. Whichever one you select becomes the project. So the project management is actually, it's how you plan, execute, monitor progress, and eventually hand over the project to the community. That's what project management is all about. And sometimes the project itself could be a project that is selected by the authorities, by the government for a particular community. But sometimes it could also be that the community on their own decided to execute such a project. Like I said, maybe improve water supply, access to health, improve educational system in the community and things like that, or waste management. I'm sorry, hello? Yeah, I'll call you back. I'm in a class now. Sorry, somebody just called me from somewhere. So the thing is, you have to, either the community decides on the project or the government decides, like, we want to do this project for this community because it is important. Now, what I want to do with us today is to share my personal experience with us. I have done series of project management for community development across several states in Nigeria. In the recent times, I have done it for some 6 states up here in the north, and I will just share my experience with you. But before I share that experience with you, I will want to take you through some basics, some fundamentals, in case you have to also be tasked with the responsibility of managing a project for a particular community. I will just take you through, some basic fundamentals that you need to go to. Then I will share my personal experience with you, what I've been doing and how I did it and all of that. Now, the first thing we want to do is that we want to, as a project manager, any of you can be a project manager, you can be vested with that responsibility. The first thing you do is to plan your activities. You must plan. You are given a task. You said, we have very low access to water in our community. How do we improve access to water in our community? So you have to plan. And when we're talking of planning, we're talking about, you have to scope it. What is the size of the community you are dealing with? What is the nature of the water supply that we are talking about? Is it from borehole? Is it pipe-borne water? Is it hand-dug well? Or, it's part of the scoping. And for how long? For how many number of people? That's part of the planning you have to do as a project manager. And part of the planning also is the method you want to use. What method do I want to use to accomplish this objective, to achieve this objective. And besides that, you also want to consider your budget. How much money do I have? Where will the money come from? And above all, you have to consider a timeline. This thing cannot be endless. The project has a specific time for which you will hand over that project to the community. So that's part of the planning you have to, that's the first thing you have to do. Then the second thing you need to do is to engage all stakeholders to buy into the idea. This is very important because the project is not for you as a person. The project is for the community. So you must make them to be interested in this project. The community has to buy in. So you have to call stakeholders meeting and tell them what you intend to do. Or if they give you that assignment, you have to call them at the stage, at this initial stage, at this inception stage, to tell them what you intend to do, how you intend to do it. Now, this stakeholders meeting is very important because they could also give you some information. Like I was talking about scoping, methodology, budget, and all of that. They may have some information you don't have. So there's a need to have a stakeholders meeting. You have to engage everybody. It's a community thing. That's why it's called community development. Number 3, you now have to go to the field. Having had your meeting with the people, you now go to the field to collect the data. The kind of data we collect is what is called baseline data. Baseline data means what do we have on ground? For example, we are talking about access to water. You want to improve access to water. The question now is, what is the current level of access to water? What are the type of water? What is the type of water that's available to the people? And how many people are able to access that water? So that is part of the baseline survey. If it's also health, if you are looking at improving access to health, it's the same thing. You need to go and collect data within the community to find out from the people what kind of health facilities are available in that community. Is it the primary health center? Is it secondary? Is it tertiary? Is it the private, or there is none at all? You need to have this information. And what's the location of this health facility? Accessibility has to do with, there are 2 ways to measure accessibility. 1 is the economic accessibility, and 2 is the physical accessibility. For the economic accessibility is, if health center is close to you, but can you afford it? That is economic accessibility. Now, physical accessibility is, there is a health center in that community, but it's very far. In case of emergency, particularly at night, do you have to go 10 kilometers before you can get there? That's almost not accessible. So that's how we measure accessibility. So in your baseline survey, you want to find out what is available, because what you are going to do is to improve accessibility, make this thing closer to the people and make it affordable to the people. Now, the 4th thing you need to do is to now implement, having collected your data, you now have to implement your recommendation. Because when you collect your data, you're going to write a report and you're going to come up with recommendations. So that 4th point you have to do is the implementation of your recommendations. That implementation recommendation simply means, okay, you've carried out the data, you have seen how many maybe water points in the community, standpipes or boreholes or something, and you are recommending that you need more boreholes in the community, or maybe more standpipes and so on and so forth. So you need to go and implement all those recommendations. And these are the outcomes from your baseline survey. Having done that, you go to the 5th point, the 5th set, which is to carry out monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation is very, very important because it enables you to know how far you are meeting up your original objectives. Because when you set out to do this work, when you set out to implement this project, you had objectives, specific objectives. You want to do this, you want to You want to do this, want to do this, want to do this. Now, after implementing this project, the project has been running now for about 9 months. You want to go back now and find out whether you are meeting those original objectives. Are you improving the access to water? Does the community now have better access to water, to health, if these are the issues that are pressing in the community? That is monitoring and evaluation. And that enables you to go to the next logical step, the 6th step, which is the adjustment in line with the initial objective. It's when you now do your M&E, you now can do an adjustment to now align what is on the field with the original objectives. From there, you now hand over the project to the community. That's the 7th point. Because the project belongs to the community. It's not your personal thing. It's not a commercial thing from you. It's not your personal project. It's for the community. You are a project manager or a consultant, as they call it in some cycles. You've only helped the community to do what they requested you to do what they want you to do. So you hand over the project back to the people. And hopefully, because you have engaged them from the inception of the project, they will be able to carry on from there to ensure that that project is sustainable long after you have left the scene from the community. So this represents the procedure for carrying out project management in communities. Now, having said this, let me take you through some key principles. We have looked at what project management is. We've seen what examples of some projects in the community. We have seen the procedure. Now let's look at some principles. There are key principles that guides us, that you must comply with to ensure that you do a good job in the community. The first principle that should guide you is what is called community participation. What does that mean? That means that the community members, all stakeholders, must be involved in decision-making and implementation. It is very, very important. It is key. That's the guiding principle, because you are doing this thing for the community. You are implementing a project for the community. They only engage you as an expert. You engage as a consultant, as a knowledgeable person to do this thing for them. So you cannot do this thing without their knowledge. You can't do this thing out of them. They have to be involved. You have to involve them in all decision-making process and implementation. So that is key. That's number one. The second key principle is that there must be empowerment. What does that mean? That simply means that as you go along, you should try to also train the people in the community, the youth in the community, the educated members of the community. You must also train them, empower them, build their capacities so that they can own the project. You are not going to be in that community. You don't belong to that community. You are not a member of that community. You are only there as an expert, as a consultant. They engage you to do this job for them. So you have to train the people. You have to empower them so that they will be able to own up the project, manage the project long after you have left the scene to make it sustainable. I will talk a little bit about that sustainability later. It is very important. So empowerment is one of the key principles in project management. If you don't empower the people, if you don't train the people, you discover that the moment you step out of that community, the whole project comes down, crashing down like a pack of cards. Because nobody knows anything. When I will share my personal experience with, like I promised you earlier, I just want to go through the general fundamental principles first. I will share with you why it is important to train the people so as to carry on from there. Number 3 is it's a very important principle, which is sustainability. Sustainability simply means ensuring long-term impact beyond project funding. The money that was made available for this project will finish after the consultant has finished his job, after the expert has concluded his job. But that project must continue long after you've left. That's sustainability. And how do you ensure that? You ensure that by making sure that the people buy into your idea, buy into the project, mobilize resources outside of whatever you brought in as a consultant to maintain that project. For example, if you are bringing boreholes into the community, if it's this Indian Mark IV, there's this hand pump borehole. That thing requires maintenance regularly. It could malfunction. It could go bad. Now, you as a project manager, you as a consultant, yes, but you have left. You left there about a year ago, and this thing now is packing up. And you didn't teach anybody how to maintain this thing while you were there. You didn't teach anybody how to manage this thing while you were there. Of course, that thing becomes a relic, and so of no benefit to the people. But if you teach them, they will be able to manage that thing, maintain it. Even if it's the electric pump, the electric pumping machine you put inside the ball, you should be able to teach them how to, when the thing can burn out. When the thing burns out, you should teach some people how to retrieve the pump from the well, service it, or change it and put it back into the well. Things like that, if you are talking about improving water supply to the community. So sustainability is very important. Otherwise, the moment you leave there, the project crashes. And nobody wants to say, well, that would be a waste of money, waste of manpower, and waste of time for everybody. Sustainability is a key principle in project management. The fourth principle is transparency. Transparency. Transparency simply means be open to the community. Conduct regular meetings. Let them know how much money is there. No need to play hide and seek with anybody, because you need to do this to earn their trust. It's very important. You cannot be running a project like this without organizing them. Regular meetings is very important. There must be regular meetings organized by you, attended by everybody, to give them updates. How much money has come, how much money has been spent, the money that came, what was money used for, and all of that. It's just to earn your trust. That's transparency and accountability. In most cases, what we do is that when we do our reporting, we report on the finances regularly, particularly if it's the community that provided the funds for the project. You as the expert or a consultant, you just have to have a regular reporting of the finances, income, expenditure, and so on and so forth. And that makes for trust. The fifth one is inclusiveness. That's the fifth principle, which is very, very important. Inclusiveness means you want to bring everybody in, whether the people are the aged people, the elderly people, the youth, the physically challenged. Everybody should be part of this project. You can't just handpick some educated people and say you are having a stakeholders meeting. No. The local market women, the farmers, the traders, everybody should be in. Everybody in that community should be represented. The community leader cannot handpick. So they ensure inclusiveness. And the whole idea of this thing is to ensure that everybody buys into the project, so that people don't complain later. I say, we are not aware. We don't know what they are doing. We just see them drilling borehole. We don't know what they are doing. We just saw a group of people. We don't know what they are doing. And that is not too good for the community. So you as the project manager, you must ensure that you bring in everybody. Even if the community leader is bringing in a set of people, it is your responsibility to correct the community leader. In the north, you call them Meangwa, also Sariki, but in the down south, you probably have them as maybe Bale in the Yoruba land and community leaders and so on and so forth. If you're able to direct them, to organize them, tell them, look, you need this set of people. You need this set of people. You need the youth leader. You need the local transport workers. You need the market women. You need representative of the farmers, and so on and so forth, to make it inclusive. So this represents what we call the key principles in project management for community development. But you must remember at the back of your mind that why you are doing all of these things is for the development of the community. And who are you developing the community for? It's for everybody. That is why the stakeholders has to be a good representation of the entire community. Now, what are the main phases of project management? Now, we've seen what project management is all about. We've seen the various procedure, the process of project management. We've also seen some key principles of project management. Now we want to look at the main phases. What are the main phases? Main phases simply means the stages of project management. A few of it I've mentioned earlier. Now the first phase in project management is project identification. Project identification. What does that mean? That means you as a consultant, you want to, if the community engages you and say, we have so money, but we don't know which project to put this money in. You don't want to know which project to work on. So you now have that responsibility to choose for them. That's project identification. But in most cases, what I've observed across this country is that projects are already selected by the government agencies. They'll just call on you, go and do this for this community. Go and do this project for this community. It's still okay. But if it comes to the point where the community have raised funds and they want you to, they have a wide range of needs and they want you to select for them, that is the first step, which is called the project identification and needs assessment. We call it needs assessment, needs, N-E-E-D-S, needs assessment. That's to say, what is it that this community need? What do they need? They may have about 5 or 6 needs. They may be talking about road, improving their roads. They were talking about improving access to water supply. They may be talking about improving access to health. They may be talking about poverty alleviation. They might be talking about all sorts of things. But it's not left for you to find out which one is key, which one should be, you do a prioritization. Which one do you think should be number one among all these things? Because the money they have may not do everything. So you now have to prioritize among all these 5 or 6, which one should you do first? And you as the expert, the one you choose should be the one that will have a multiplier effect in that community. The one that will boost the local economy. The one that will hasten development before money comes to do other projects. The one that has a multiplier effect, a ripple effect on other sectors of the economy. That is how you prioritize these things. So you have to do, for you to to do the needs assessment, you have to look at community. Like I said earlier, you have a consultation with them. You have to decide what to do, identify community issues, provide needs assessment, stakeholders mapping. Who are the stakeholders? You as the expert, you have to, that's your responsibility. Who is there? Who can I engage with? Who can come to a meeting with me? Who can we plan together with? So that's the first thing you do, project identification. Then that takes you to the second phase, which is project planning and design. Project planning and design. At this stage, you have already identified a project. Maybe improving school enrollment. They just cover that they have only one primary school and the enrollment is very low. They have a lot of children not going to school, and maybe that is the priority of that community. So that's what you want to do. That's the task ahead of you. That's the project the community has given you to do. So you're now going to what they call the second phase, which is project planning and design. So what you do here is that one, you develop a project framework and plan. There must be a plan, there must be a framework. By framework, we mean something like, what are the activities I should do? And what's the timeline? You just get a small table. When you hear of plan is it's no more than a table. That's what I teach my students here in disaster management. When you're talking about plan, it's just a table. The other pages will just be narration of the table. That first table is the main plan. What are the activities you want to do? What is the timeline? Who does what? And whose responsibilities? Where will the budget? Where will the money come from? And all of that. So you need to do this one. You define your objectives. Any project you want to do, you must have specific objectives. That first one, you want to improve access to water. That's the aim. Then there must be specific objectives. Specific objectives. One, improve water access point. That would be one. Two, improve wash, water, sanitation, and all of that. All those are specific objectives, so that people don't have to go long distances before they have access to water, and so on and so forth. So you have specific objectives, you have outcomes, you have indicators. Now, these indicators are important because when you are doing the M&E, monitoring and evaluation, you will have to refer to these indicators. For example, what are we talking about? We're talking about school enrollment, for example. You say, okay, at the end of this project, we want to see that the enrollment in primary school enrollment improves from maybe about, initially it was before the project started was about 50 pupils. You want to bring it up to about 200 pupils. That's an indicator. From time to time, you want to find out whether you are achieving that specific indicator, that target as an outcome. Then you have to have a work plan. Within the second phase, so you have to have a work plan. Like I said, you have to have a budget. You cannot embark on a project without having a logical budget, a viable project, a budget. Otherwise, your project will be stuck halfway. Your project will terminate halfway. You can't talk of improving water supply and you don't have sufficient money. You want to drill boreholes, and sometimes you want to have overhead tanks, water tanks, GP tanks. You want to have a generator to pump the water from the ground and store in the overhead tank, so that when people come to fetch water, they just open a tap and the thing flows. You have to budget for everything. And in how many places in the community are you going to have such water points? Budget, you have to budget, and so on and so forth. That's the second phase. It is very, very important. And if you don't do that, you are not really going too far in what you are supposed to do. And the third phase is the implementation of the project itself. Having identified what to do, you go to the second phase, which is the planning itself. Planning simply means what to do, how to do it, where's the money coming from, and all of that. Then you now go to the third phase, which is the implementation. So now that means you are now executing the planned activities. Remember that in the project planning, in the second phase, planning phase, I told you have to have a plan. What are the activities? What time frame? Is it for this activity? Is it going to last for 2 months? Is it going to last for 3 months? We use what they call this Gantt chart. Forget about these jargons. We use those things for when we are doing some work for organization. Call it Gantt chart. GANTT, Gantt chart. It's a table where you put the activity, then you have the time. The specific time you need to achieve that. The next activity, at what time, next activity. That's plan. It guides you. It's a guide. It's a useful guide. It enables you to stay within. It enables you to stay within the scope of your work so that you don't unnecessarily spend so much time. Because remember that as you are in the field, you have field assistant, you are paying workers in the field. So you must make sure that you don't exceed the time allowed for your program. So you, at the implementation stage, you are executing activities, you are mobilizing resources. Resources are in two categories. You have the human resources, you have the financial resources. It is the financial resources that bring the human resources. You must train people, like I said earlier. You have to train people to work with you. You have to have the money, the financial resources, the human resources. You put all these things together and you now go to the field. If it's a borehole thing, you have to bring a drilling machine that will drill, and all the drilling materials, the pump, the pumping machine, and everything. Those are the materials you will require. Of course, the financial resources that bring the material resources. You have to coordinate all stakeholders. In what we do from my own experience, I try to engage the stakeholders in specific activities to make them own that activity, to make them buy into that activity. Don't try to do everything by yourself. It will not be in your own interest, and it will not be in the interest of the community. Let everybody be involved, engage them, and you monitor the progress as it goes on. And how do you monitor progress? You monitor progress because you already have objectives. You have an aim, overriding aim, what I call overarching aim, and you have specific objectives. So you have to monitor this. How far are you achieving these objectives? How far are you achieving these objectives? So you have to monitor the progress. Then that takes us to the fourth stage, which is the M&E. Like I have mentioned this M&E now a couple of times. Monitoring and evaluation. Now, what this means is that you want to find out whether those original objectives that you set for yourself are being achieved. You want to improve access to water. Like I told you earlier, maybe access to health facility. Access is in two ways: physical accessibility and economic accessibility. You have built all these things into your objective. After about 6 months of implementing this thing, you want to come back and see, have you really improved the physical accessibility? Do people have to travel 10 kilometers to get to a health center? Have you reduced that distance by creating multiple health centers? such that the farthest somebody can go is maybe about 5 or 6 kilometers. What about economic accessibility? Do people have to pay so much to have access to medical services to the extent that will even discourage them? You must do something about that. That's the purpose of these primary health centers. You are not supposed to be rich before you can have the services at the primary health center. So for a consultant, for an expert, those are some of the things you want to look at. So for your M&E, you have to track progress, and measure results. You are tracking the results to make sure that those original objectives you set, they have been achieved. And if you're not achieving them, you adjust the project in such a way that you can still meet that objective. Because when you do a project and you don't really meet the needs of the people, then it's useless. You wasted everybody's time and you wasted the material resources, the money that was given to you to do this thing. So you conduct regular reviews, interview the people, and make sure that things are done the way they are supposed to do. That takes you now to the last stage, the last phase of the project, which is the closure and sustainability. Like I said earlier, when you do a project for the community, it's for the community, it's not for you. Like we in the academic, what we tell our students here is that when you do a thing like that, it's not an academic thing that you write a project, then you submit a project to get a score, to get a grade, and we'll put that report into the archive, in the shelf of the library. No, it's not, this project is not your own. It's not your property. You were only called as an expert to guide the community, to help the community. So at the end of the day, you hand over this thing to the community. And when you hand over this thing to the community, you want to ensure that the project is sustainable. By sustainability, we mean that that project will continue to exist long after you have left. Not the next day you leave and the whole thing crashes down because nobody knew what you were doing. That's why I emphasized earlier that you need to train the people, empower the people, let them know what you are doing, engage them in several aspects of the work. Give them, out of all those activities, let them participate in all of them so that while you are not there, they can actually help themselves to make the work sustainable. So after that, you write your final report, you hand over to the community and hoping that everything will work well. So those are the phases in the community, in this thing we call project management for community development. Now, I've been mentioning stakeholders all along. Who are these stakeholders? I will, once I finish now, I will allow you to ask questions. But first, let me quickly remind us that by stakeholders, we mean everybody in that community. Everybody, like I said earlier, you have the community members, you have the donors, the people that brought money for the budget, they are part of the stakeholders because they have a stake. They have put in their money. They want to see what their money is doing, how far their money is helping the community. They are part of your stakeholders. When you write your report, they must be given copies to know that whether you did the right thing or not. The NGOs, non-governmental organizations, the community-based organizations, CBOs, they are there. The FBOs, faith-based organization, faith, whether it's a Christian community or Muslim community, they are part of, they are stakeholders, they have a stake. Government agencies, you cannot be doing health, you cannot be doing project on health without involving the State Ministry of Health. There are a lot of things they can do for the community. Even if just advice they are giving you, it's a lot of benefit to the community. They might even supply free drugs to your health center. So the government agencies are there. Development partners will also be there. By development partners, we mean some of these international NGOs like the UNICEF. If you are talking about health, UNICEF will be there. If you are talking about education, you have something like the UNESCO and all of that. The UNDP is also very useful in virtually all sectors of the economy. So these are the stakeholders. You must bring them along because they will help in bringing their, they have vast knowledge in project management across communities globally. They can give you advice, they can help, they can lead you to experts, you know, and they can also provide, they can mobilize resources for you to be able to do the job. So that represents the long and short of project management. Now, let me, for the couple of minutes that I have left, let me quickly share with you my experience in the field. Like I told you, I have done project management. In the last couple of years, I've done not less than 6 or so states in Nigeria, particularly in the northern part of the country. And what I've been dealing with generally related to disaster management. I have done quite a number of projects. And one of them, time will not permit me to go through all of them. I will just mention one to you. I'll just describe one. That one is called we were concerned in this particular state. I think Kaduna State, for example. We've done for Kaduna, I've done for Kaduna. I did all this in collaboration with the Christian Aid. The Christian Aid is an international, it's an international non-governmental organization based in UK, but have a branch in Nigeria, well established in Nigeria. I did that in association with the United States USAID. They provided the fund, and with some other international NGOs, you know, we've done project for Kaduna State, Benue State, Plateau State, lately for Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, and a couple of other places I've done for. Now, for Kaduna State, we were concerned about flood disasters. And one of the things that we observed was that the incidence of flooding was becoming pretty regular, was becoming very frequent in Kaduna State, some parts of Kaduna State. And we were worried, we were disturbed. So the Christian Aid came in with the support of the USAID and one other organization. And they now said, okay, what we want to do, the aim was to what they call strengthening DRR in communities for flood disaster. What that means is that we are strengthening disaster risk reduction. Disaster risk reduction is DRR. We want to strengthen disaster risk reduction in these communities so that they will have less flood incidents, less flood hazard, as we call it, or less flood disasters. That was the original aim. We now said, okay, what do we do? And we now went ahead to, the objectives was to assess, we now said, okay, let us do an assessment of the flood risk. Because like I said earlier, when you have a project like this, you should be able to do what you might call an assessment, initial assessment. So we said, okay, let's look at the flood risk. We will look at the flood risk as one of the objectives. We will also look at the disaster risk reduction institutions. We will assess capacity for prevention, preparedness, and response. We will also implement programs and activities for improving disaster risk reduction capacities for prevention, preparedness, and response across board. And we'll also do an MRE, and then we'll hand over project. Those were the things we set out to do. And we then said, okay, let's go ahead and do the field work. The first thing we did, like I also shared with you earlier, was to do a baseline survey. And the baseline survey essentially was to look at what is happening within the communities. We were looking at several communities in several LGAs across the state. That's what we did in all these places we did these projects. So, and we did, and part of the baseline survey, we were able to do the flood risk assessment. The flood risk assessment simply means you are looking at the probability of the flood occurring in any of these communities. It's a little bit mathematical, scientific, but it's not something you cannot do. It's an assessment of flood risk assessment. There are a lot of things we do about that. I won't want to bug you with that because of time. Now, we also looked at disaster risk reduction capacities at the state level, at the local government level, and at the household level. By capacities, we mean what do the people have to prevent flood? What do they have to prepare for in case the flood comes? What do they have to respond to the flood incident? That's what we call the capacities for prevention, preparedness, and response. So we looked at all of that. And we did a stakeholders consultative meeting. By that I mean we were having regular meetings, workshops. All the stakeholders were called. We had a workshop. Now at the inception stage, we needed to do this because we want to let them know what we are doing, what the objectives are, what the methodologies are, and what the possible outcomes will be like. What are the indicators? In case we are not getting everything right, some of the stakeholders can also guide us. Because among the stakeholders, particularly when dealing at the state level, you are looking at people that will come from communities, come from local government area, and they will come from the ministries, the line ministries, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Health, and so on and so forth. The Ministry of Environment, people will come. The experts, these are experts, they will attend that meeting. And so you will be probably guided on the methodology. This is important because you need to get your methodology right before going to the field. Because it's the methodology that determines the kind of data you collect in the field. Remember that we are talking about baseline now. Baseline, you want to collect data in the field to find out what exists in the community, because you want to find out where the gaps are, so that when you go to implement, it is those gaps you are trying to fill to ensure that this problem does not exist anymore. That is the logic. So you want to ensure that your methodology is right from the onset, and that everybody buys into that methodology. So by the time you come with your result, nobody's going to raise objection. Nobody will say, well, this method is wrong. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? No, that's the need for consultation across board. Now, what we of course, we also discussed, during the meeting, you discuss your scope, the scope. Of course, earlier I talked about scope. I know I don't have much time now. Let me skip that. With methodology, and we also use specific methodologies like the PVCA, that's the Participatory Vulnerability and Capacity Assessment. 2, we use questionnaires, we do focus group discussion, we use key informant interview and all of that. Well, don't bother yourself about those things. It may not be applicable in your own project, but I am just sharing with you what we did, and which I have done a couple of times across several states in Nigeria. And so with that, we're able to get our report. We got a report, did the analysis of the data, and we now got a report, and we called the stakeholders again to present the report. Everybody has to be there, and everybody has to buy into it. Questions we ask, we have to provide answers and all of that. It's at the end of the day, we now came up with recommendation. That report has recommendations. For example, I remember very well, one of the states, we discovered that the communities don't have trained human resources. They don't have people who are trained in any aspect of disaster risk reduction, which is not very good, which means the communities are left unprotected, as it were. And when the hazard impacts on the community, then they are now waiting for the state emergency management agencies to come, or the national emergency management agency to come, which is not very good. We believe in disaster management. We believe that managing disaster starts from the community. It's at the community level. So we build the human capacity. So one of the recommendations is that we should train people at the community level to be able to do some things before people from the state emergency management agency comes, before the national people come. So that's part of the things we observe. We observe that these things don't exist. And we also observe that this issue, that this thing they call early warning system, does not exist in most of these communities and in most of these states. They don't have any early warning system for flood disaster. And so these were the recommendations, among several other recommendations that we identified, and we presented that at that stakeholders meeting. And of course, that one dovetailed into recommendations. Then it is the recommendations that were implemented. We implemented these recommendations across board. Some of the things we did with developing work plans, some of the work plans and contingency plans. Some of these states didn't even have contingency plan. What's a contingency plan? Contingency plan simply means in case of a hazard, in case of a disaster, what do you do? Who does what? Where will the money come from? Where will the resources, material resources come from? Where will the human resources come from? That's a contingency plan. And how many people are you planning for? And so on and so forth. You paint different scenarios of different hazards and see how you're able to navigate through all of these in the case of a disaster. A contingency plan. So some of the things we also did was to develop contingency plans. And we, like I said, we also developed the human capacity. We build the capacity for the people. And we also strengthen institutional strengthening. That, for example, the State Emergency Management Agency, we discovered that the human resources were not satisfactory as it were. So we had to build a capacity. And we also discovered that the communities didn't even have any institution for disaster management. And one of the major contributions which Christian Aid actually brought on board in this issue, in this matter, was to come up with this idea of disaster DMMP, I think disaster management and mitigation platform at the community and at the state level, which is quite a novel idea. Anywhere I go, I tell people that the Christian Aid were able to do this. And so we were able to bring stakeholders together to be able to dialogue, to discuss, to engage themselves in useful discussions on how to improve conditions in their community. These are some of the things that were done. And we also developed early warning system for flood in Kaduna, for example, and other states we are working. They were able to develop early warning system for flood. Before, there was no early warning system anywhere. And this is very important in disaster management. When you have an early warning system, you are able to pre-warn the people of the danger that is coming their way, and they're able to do something about it. In the absence of an early warning system, the people are asleep and they're overwhelmed, and there's nothing warning them before the incident. And so we're able to also do public enlightenment. Very, very important. It's cheap, but it's very important. Sometimes people don't even know what to do. But when you engage the community in some kind of education using ICE materials, information, educational, there's communication material, flyers, handbills, jingles on radio, television, they become aware of what to do and what not to do. Then issue of advocacy, we also did that because we discovered that the local government were not really involved in disaster management, and yet they are supposed to play key roles in disaster management according to the plan set up by the federal government. The CAP plan, which you call emergency management plan, you have the role of NEMA, SEMA, and the community and the local government LEMCs. LEMCs are supposed to play a role. So we did advocacy for the state government to support these people, release money to them, and so on and so forth. So the fifth thing that we also did was the action learning, the M&E. So at the time we came back again, organized another workshop to find out whether we were doing the right thing or we're not doing the right thing. What are the lessons learned from what we have done so far? Internal best practices. What is it that we were supposed to do right, we didn't get right? What are the things we did well? And we want to document the success stories. And wherever we fail, we also note it so that in future, some other people can build on that and have a better project management at the community level. So those are,
Prof.
Yes. Thank you.
So we are really enjoying your lecture. Like, we want
Thank
more,
you. So the last,
we want you to keep going, we want you to keep going. Okay, the thing is, let's give Prof, because we still need time to ask questions, and we have another doctor that is waiting for our time.
Yeah,
this is our time actually, but Ma, please, you have to just spare us extra 7 minutes so that Prof would round up 8:03. Then we will use the remaining 5 minutes to ask questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I've actually gone to the end. So we now hand over the project to the people. And even when we hand over the project to the people, we are excited. We are happy that the people are really doing. Once in a while, we call because we create a WhatsApp group, a chat group, and we are part of them. And we see how they are running the program, running the project, and we are glad about it. That's one of the things that it excites us to see that the project you spend time and money to do is running well according to plan. Thank you so much. Thank you for exceeding the time you gave to me. Thank you. So I will just
so much, sir.
Questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Please, if you have any question, can you type your question on the chat bar? Yes, we'll pick it up from there. Yes, please, if you have any question for Prof. Prof, you can also check the chat for questions.
Yes. Okay.
You can type your question.
I think somebody is asking, he said, good evening, everyone. Please, as it is being recorded, I would love to have a copy at the end of it all. Thanks. That's the only one I can see now.
Yes, the Zoom section is being recorded. So we're going to drop the copy of the Zoom section by tomorrow. Yes, it will be dropped to the platform by tomorrow. Yes, I think God sent Peter Rose. She just sent a question.
Okay. He said, well, the one I have here said, how can we be involved in a community project survey and implementation?
Yes.
Yeah, that one we can, it's easy. Like I said, it's either you are the project manager yourself. Like I have managed projects. That's one of the things I was trying to explain to you as a consultant. It's either you are engaged as a consultant and you are leading, you are the manager, or as a community member. If somebody is bringing a project to your community and you see that the project is going on, you can also be involved, you can engage, you can be part of it without actually leading. For example, when there was this flood in Nigeria in 2012, that infamous flood that almost covered the entire country, it was the UNDP that led, because we had to write what is called post-disaster needs assessment. UNDP led, but we, some of us from the academic, because we have a Center for Disaster Risk Management in Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria here. So we were part of it. So you can get involved as a member of the community if you are not a project lead. Okay? There is a
Okay,
question.
we'll pick 2 more questions, then we call it a day.
Okay.
Not a day, please. A section.
A section, yeah. Right. He said, thank you, Prof, for the lecture. Please, as a beginner going into project management, how can we start by going into project management on political affairs? Project management on political affairs. I'm not too sure what this question is looking at. Well, like I said, when you are doing project management, the projects are physical things. There are tangible things. Like I gave example. For example, you want to improve access to water. Maybe it's a community that they lack water. As a consequence of that, they are getting water from places that are not supposed to get water from, and so they are reporting cholera and all of that. Or you want to improve access to health. Discover that just 1 or 2 health services, the whole community, people don't have access to health. Or you want to improve enrollment in schools, or you want to, the project is about how to reduce disaster in the community. Those are projects. But when you talk about political affairs, I'm not too sure about that. Again, how do we assess stakeholders if we have a project? Like I said, the stakeholders are the people in the community, including the donors, the people that brings money, that brought the money, and the people who are also overseeing the work. Everybody, both the market woman, the physically challenged people, the youth, everybody. Good evening, Prof. Load of, can there be somebody, let me see, somebody was talking about load of thanks for amazing session. I took notes of all the striking points. Thank you. Okay. Somebody, can there be checks and balances in projects? Who should do this to avoid embezzlement and fund mismanagement? Oh, very good question. There are checks and balances, like I said. There must be institutions that will oversee what you are doing. The checks and balances are regular meetings. You must correct that one. Like my own case, we don't call it meet, call it workshop. We're organizing workshop because all the stakeholders, we bring all the stakeholders and a big meeting. Everybody comes there, and you must have to present your report. Present what is income, what the income is, and what the expenditure is. And once you are there, the donors are there. They know how much you were given. So you can't, if they gave you 10 million, you can't go to the workshop or the meeting and say you are given 7 million. That's a part of the checks and balances. There must be transparency. There must be accountability. I said that earlier. And that is what earns your trust. Make people to trust you. Why would they give you 10 million and you go and say they give you 7 million? What do you want to use that money for? It's not good. So that is how you were asking how should we avoid embezzlement? Why would you embezzle community money? It's not good. It's not good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. Prof, really enjoyed your lecture. Please, if you have any question, you can drop it on our WhatsApp group. Then I will pick it from there, send it to Prof. Prof will give us his reply. Then I'm going to send it back to you, please. Yeah, I think that's that. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful section on project management for community development, sir. Really, want more sections like this from you, and we will try our best to arrange something like this, because I'm seeing people, I'm seeing students, they want more. They were like, no, let's go. But please, we have our next speaker on board. Prof, thank you so much today. We really appreciate your time. Yeah, it was really, really interesting, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'll see you next time. Sir. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our next speaker is Dr. Grace Ejenti from National Open University, and she'll be taking us on women and technology, embracing current global trends. Yes, let's give her 1 minute to come on board.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Good
everyone
evening,
on
ma.
the
You're
call.
welcome, ma.
Yeah, Prof, that was an exciting session. Thank you so very much for a power-packed presentation. Thank you. In fact, we wish we just continue. I think we're enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So I hope I'm being heard. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, ma.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. Moderator, please permit me to share my screen, please. Okay, so are we seeing my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, but please, if you can see our screen, can you chat yes on the chat bar?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, I think everyone can see your screen.
Okay, so I wouldn't want to say so anything about somebody is writing on the screen. All right, so before us is the topic women and technology, embracing current global trends. Okay, and my name is Grace Ejenti. As a way of introduction, maybe a little about myself. And I have a reason why I placed my certificates or my degrees here. I started with ND, I went to HND, had a BSc, went to PGD distance education, had a master's, and finally a PhD. I am trying to say this because, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. I don't know. I think the weather is not too good, so I wouldn't want anything to disturb the flow. Okay, so because you're a woman, do not say you are limited. We are not limited. God created us in his own way, so we are not limited. So do not try to limit yourself. That is exactly what I'm saying. Because I had a focus of becoming a professor in the future. And so I started with HND. And I know with HND, without any other thing added to HND, I know I may not be able to achieve that aim. Just like what Prof told us, you have to create your own goal and see how you could work around achieving your goal. So because of that, I went for a degree, I went for PhD, and alas, I've achieved my goal as a PhD holder by God's grace. So today we are talking about, so still a little about myself. Currently, I work with the National Open University of Nigeria as a deputy director in the ICT Directorate. Yeah, I'm a member of different professional bodies. For instance, I'm a fellow in Nigeria Computer Society. I'm a fellow with Institute of Information Management Africa. I'm also a member of a professional body in Nigeria, like Nigeria Women in Information Technology. Yes, and that is what the NIWIT stands for. I'm also a member of the Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria and all that. Yes, so the topic before us again is women and technology. Now, why I was pondering over this topic, I started wondering, we are talking about embracing current global trends, right? And I asked myself, have we exhausted the local trends we have in Nigeria or in Africa before embracing the current trend? That is the question I'm posing to everyone now. Are you ready to embrace the current global trend? Have we saturated what is currently available? As I leave us to answer that question, let me take us through my content. So we're going to talk about the introduction, key statistics and trends, women in technology today, challenges and opportunities, strategies for success, and then conclusion and call to action. Now, going back to the question I asked, how prepared are we? Because the world will not be waiting for us. Now, I'm talking generally about Africans, about women, about Africans. The global world will not be waiting for us. We need to catch up because actually we are far, far behind, and that is the truth. So how ready are you? How ready am I to embrace current global technology? Now, as it stands, a lot of us have either we have WhatsApp, we have YouTube, and other platforms. How have you leveraged these ones? How have you used them to your benefit? How have they helped you? If these little ones have not helped you, I wonder what that big current global trend will do for us. So that is the way I want to channel. That is the way I want to go. So please, if you're hearing me, I want you to just show me that you're hearing. Use your best emoji, your best whatever to just show me that you're hearing and you're listening. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so introduction. By way of introduction, in today's rapidly evolving technological landscape, women are playing a pivotal role in shaping the future of innovation and digital transformation. Yet, despite the remarkable projects, women remain underrepresented in critical tech fields such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, blockchain technology, and fintech, and a whole lot of others. Now, in the class, on the WhatsApp group, we talked about underrepresentation. Women are grossly underrepresented, and that is the truth. We are going to see why and the effect of this, as a woman, generally. Now, as global technology trends continue to reshape industries, it is essential to upgrade, update, and upskill so as to continue to remain relevant. I was telling somebody some weeks ago, she's a secretary, and I told her if you had refused to upgrade yourself, if you're still tied to the keyboard, to manual typewriter, electric typewriter, whatever name it is called, and you refuse to upgrade yourself, you refuse to update yourself and upskill yourself, and I told her by now, I'm sure it should have been out of work. And that is the truth. So if we as women must remain relevant in this 21st century, then we need to upgrade, update, and upskill. The knowledge you learned so many years ago, like when I was in school, they taught us COBOL programming language, basic programming language. Imagine that I had remained with COBOL, with BASIC, with Pascal. I don't know where I'll be now. It means that when people are saying things about IT and technology, you would just be lost. Okay? You wouldn't even know where to start. So you need to upgrade yourself, you need to update, and then you upskill. If you have learned some things that you need to relearn, please go back and learn them. Go back and relearn. If you don't know about them at all, go back and learn. Go and learn them. And it will shock us to know that employees are not asking you, are you computer literate? When was the last time somebody asked you, are you computer literate? Because they believe that by now, nobody's talking about literacy again. We're talking about digital skills. What you hear is, what digital skills do you have? And so that is the question I'm posing to all of us today. What digital skills do you have? Yes, we want to embrace the global technology. Oh, yes, I agree. But you on your own, what have you done to upgrade, upskill, and update the knowledge you have or the knowledge you do not have. And so from artificial intelligence to machine learning, to cybersecurity, to cloud computing, to blockchain, to Internet of Things, and a host of others, these technologies are not only revolutionizing industries, but also creating new avenues for progress, for innovation. Please, I hope I'm making some sense. Don't worry, we're moving. So let's look at some of the key statistics, because of course we are underrepresented. So what are these key statistics and trends? Historically, women have been underrepresented. I've said that before. Now, the workplace statistics in June this year, reports by Vanguard citing women in tech Nigeria stated that Nigeria makes up only 17% of the tech workforce. And I say, God forbid to that. You cannot be a woman and the only percentage is 17. That calls for serious attention. That calls for us to do something drastic. And that is why LaPlage has put this together to inform women, to educate women, the need for us not to be laid back, for us to come and grab this opportunity with both hands. And so the National Bureau of Statistics reported also that women make up roughly 22% of the people working in the ICT sector. Can you imagine? This one is 17%, this is 22%. A child or your child has scored 22% or 17%. Has he or she passed the exam? Of course, the answer is no. Now, the entry-level barrier, let's look at that. The primary challenge for women in Nigeria tech sector is at the entry level with limited opportunities, creating a shallow pool of candidates for mid-level and senior positions. Of course, when you don't have them at that mid-level, how do they grow? How do they grow? How do they get to that level where all that young girls will look up to them and say, yes, and say to themselves, yes, I want to be like this person. Yes, I want to get to this level in my academic status, my academic pursuit. But we are not represented. And so while the overall tech industry growth is positive, data suggests a decrease in the percentage of women in tech jobs over recent years. Believe me, we need to do something about this. And we really need to do it. And I'm happy that we are all listening to this. All these things I've said so far, what are the contributing factors? What are the contributing factors? Why are women grossly represented? Why are they grossly underrepresented? Why are they underrepresented? I know if I throw this open, a lot of us will have so many factors to tell us why women are not fully represented or adequately represented. Barriers to entry, I've talked about that. So poverty, cultural biases against education in the girl child, lack of female-focused funding, and limited mentorship opportunities. Now, if we don't have women at the middle and top level, the ones that are coming, who do they look up to? Who would they look up to? Of course, mentorship is limited. The opportunity is not there because who are the ones to mentor you? So how many women will you put per 1,000 girls or 1,000 women? Now, harassment and prejudices. Women in the Nigeria tech ecosystem face challenges such as harassment, peer pressure, and prejudice. I want to pause here and give us an example, something that happened to me. This is personal experience. Some years ago, I was posted to a particular center by to go and set up the exam center for students to write the exams. So when I got there, the person there introduced me to the head of that center and said, this person will be taking over from me for this reason and this reason and this reason. Are we together? Okay, so I went there with my full chest. I went there, I wanted to do the work. But the moment this man saw me, I was shocked. The man was surprised. And the man said, no, he like working with women. Like he told me categorically, I do not like working with women. I was like, okay, I don't know you, we have not met, you don't know anything about me. What kind of a generalized statement is this? And I never liked it. I have not worked with this man, and he just threw that at me. And I said, well, I took up the challenge, and I said, fine, let's see how it's going to go. And I was supposed to be there for 1 month. I am telling you, they showed me an open office, and they said, Mrs. 𝐄𝐂𝐂𝐋𝐿, this is the exam center. That day was on a Friday, and the exam was to commence on Monday. And I said, wow. What I did, I put on my shoes, I put on my trousers, my jeans, and I went to work. I crammed all the cables. And I tell you that on Monday, exams started at that center, like every other place. And you know, I didn't give him that opportunity. It was later on he came to me and started apologizing. And I said, yes, you have made your point. And that was how he changed the narratives. So I'm telling us this, we women, we need to change the narratives. I know we have men here, but we need to change the narratives. Okay? So do not be harassed by anybody, by your fellow women. Do not be harassed. Do not allow anybody to harass you. Now I work in a male-dominated domain. I have my pages in cybersecurity, and I am a trained web developer. So I design websites and I deploy websites. Okay, so you already seen that aspect where I am, that domain, that the ecosystem is a male-dominated domain. But I strived. I tried. I make sure I get what I want. And whatever I get is not because I am a woman. It is because I was able to do the job. So yes, we are trying to say men must be equal with women must be equal. Women must be given equal opportunity. But you as a woman, how have you improved yourself? Yes, how have you improved yourself? Okay, that is all about that. Then imposter syndrome. I've given some persons tasks as women, and the next they say, no, ma, I can't do this. Can we leave it for some other time? I am not sure I'm able to handle this. You're already condemning yourself. These people, some of them are very, very intelligent. But this imposter syndrome will not create self-doubt. Even if you know how to do it, you just see yourself complaining, how do I do this? How do I handle this? Fear of exposure. And because of that, they will be afraid to seek help. You begin to doubt yourself. My English is not too good. I can't face the public. I can't speak well and all that. No, give it a try. If you don't try it, you don't even know how good or how bad you are. So work-life balances. Now we are looking at what are these contributing factors that will that necessitates our underrepresentation. Work-life balance pressures. The pressure is much coming left, right, and center. You have your family, you have your work. Some even have businesses they do. Now you need to balance this for your mental health. You need to balance it. You need to create a balance. Your work must not suffer. Your family must not suffer. Whatever you need to apportion time to them, okay? So gender bias and discrimination, I've talked about that. Lack of role models, I've also talked about that. And then building self-confidence and learning through failure, like I said. This comes under the imposter syndrome. Then lack of adequate representation. So all these things and the ones you have in your mind are part of these factors that are contributing to underrepresentation of women in the tech industry and wherever we find ourselves. Don't worry, we're just moving. Okay, now I know a lot of people are ready for this. Embracing technical global trend. And I told us earlier, I said, see, it is not about, do you know how to use Microsoft Word? Do you know how to use PowerPoint? Do you know how to use Excel? Nobody asks you such questions anymore because they believe in this time you should be able to know how to do those things. And that is the truth. Okay, so while you're looking at the skills I displayed on my slide, this is not even, I hope you're seeing my slide. It should be on a slideshow. I'm sorry, it's not on slideshow. I hope you're seeing it all the same. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, maybe I should put it on slide board. Should I do that or I should just continue? Okay, so, sorry? Okay, let's continue as long as everyone is saying it. Okay, so while this is on my screen, I want to also give you an experience I had with a woman. And by the way, I stay in Abuja. So one day I went to the popular Wuse market and I met a woman. And the woman sells everything and anything that has to do with the kitchen utensils, knives, different types, different shapes, different sizes, different colors, different equipment, machines, and not the rest. You know, so I walked up to her and I saw the sales girls were all sleeping on the bench. They were playing with their phones and all that. And I walked up and I told them I want to see Madame. They said from where I just introduced myself. So when Madame came, I told Madame, I said, please, I need a bottle of water and I need to sit down. And the woman was shocked and said, okay, fine. So I sat down and I said, Madame, you're a very rich woman. And she looked at me and laughed and said, by God's grace. I said, yes, you're a rich woman. With all these things you're having here, you have your shop stock to the teeth. And she said, yes, but she's not making sales, that she just paying the sales girls and nothing is happening. I said, no, you can't have this kind of a place and nothing is happening. I said, okay, fine. Thank you for the water. Let me tell you, let me just say something briefly to you. And she was interested. And the first thing she said, I don't have money. Like, I don't have money, madam. I said, no, it's not about money. Don't worry, nothing. And I told her, I said, you see, who locks the shop? Who opens the shop in the morning? She said, her girls. So who locks the shop? Who locks up the shop in the evening? She said, her girls. Or anybody. I said, first. Now, you see this good product you have here. The first people or set of persons that sees this product are these girls or you. So you open the shop in the morning and they see all the good products. Then the other set of people that sees your products are people that somehow manage to find themselves around your corner. Oh, they were just, okay, this shop is here, fine. And that's it. Then another people, maybe they want to buy pressure pot, and then they'll meet somebody and say, okay, and please, I'm looking for pressure pot. How do I get it? And say, okay, go, have you checked it? Have you checked? That's okay. No, go to this woman. She may have it. Or people that bought from you and then referred somebody to come and buy from you. These are the people that see your product in the morning, during the day. Then the last people that see the product are those people that will lock your shop. So you see your product first before locking the place. So the woman was shocked with this my analysis. I said, but I'm going to do something for you. I don't know you. So I'm not here to collect your money, but I'll do something for you. At the end, if you're happy with what I've done, you could say thank you to me in any form or manner you wish. And the woman agreed. So I got a camera. I got my daughter's camera, got a guy, and say, snap these pictures. I selected some products. Of course, not all the products. I selected some few products. I said, please snap those pictures for me and these products for me. Get the different dimensions of the products, maybe the 3D, the back, the front. I got the descriptions of this product and I got the prices of few products. I went back home that day and I developed a mini e-commerce website for this woman. Are we still together, please? I hope I'm being heard. So when I developed this e-commerce,
yes, ma'am,
e-commerce website for her, a mini one, a very small one, because of those few products I got. So I ran 1 week Facebook ads for this woman. And then I told her everything I've done. Of course, I don't expect her to understand what I'm saying. So a few days after, I went to her and I said, how far? I hope you are seeing people. I hope they're buying. She said, no, the auntie, I've not seen anybody. I said, let me have your phone. So I checked her phone, and because the landing page was her phone, was her WhatsApp number. Okay. So I checked her WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp was not even on to start with. So when I on her data and I saw messages running and trooping in, like, wow. And she said, what is all this? And she doesn't understand. Oh, I said, that was where I made a mistake. Okay. So what I did, and some of us are here, you run Facebook ads, you don't even do a follow-up. You have products you sell, you have services you offer. You run Facebook and somebody runs them for you, you don't even check. So what I did, I had to edit the Facebook ads. And then I added my WhatsApp number to it, my business WhatsApp number. And come and see what happened. People were reaching out, do you have this in this quantity? Do you have this in this number? And let me also tell us, I leveraged the automation feature in WhatsApp business. So don't think I was always there to answer questions. Do you have this? Do you have the specification? Do you have colors? How many do you have? How many? What is the quantity? We need this. People, wedding ceremonies, programs, events, they want to get souvenirs. And that was what happened. It was a boom. It was a turnaround for this woman. She had WhatsApp, but she doesn't know how to use the WhatsApp. Okay, so that's by the way. Now, somebody else, I met somebody else again. Now, this man is into laptops. He sells laptops. And I told him, I said, I like what you sell. I like your products. They are very good quality. They have high specification, and I want to sell your products. He said, okay, fine. So I also ran what they call, I developed a landing page for only laptops, different types of laptops, and I also ran Facebook ads. And people were reaching out to me. It's okay, you want this? And we supplied everywhere. Even that woman, we did delivery to Nigeria. Anywhere you are, we will send our product to you. So that was what happened. So for every laptop I sold, I got my commission. So back to the skill. Data analysis is there. We have academics. We have people in the industry. We have people with Google Form. They want to analyze their data that they collected. They need people to do that for them. You can do that for them. Cybersecurity, yes, a lot is happening. You can create cybersecurity awareness. You can learn some of these tools and technologies. Cloud computing is there. Content creation. You see everybody now is doing content. Yes. And everybody will go there, they will try and put up one content or the other, and people will be chatting, but why did you do this? You shouldn't have done this. And they'll be fighting themselves. Meanwhile, the owners of those pages are busy making money. So if you know that is your flair, if you know that is your niche, if you know you can have your niche around any of this, please go ahead. Seek for people that could help you, that could mentor you. Now we have the copywriting, we have the ghostwriting, we have the article writing. We have content writing. Now, all thanks to ChatGPT, it has made it a lot easier for everyone. Now I have somebody, is there a graphic design here? I have a blogger that I create graphics for, graphic designs. All those graphic designs I create is ChatGPT. I just do some editing on them and send to her, and I am paid. So if you learn copywriting, you don't have to be a master in copywriting. You don't have to be a master in ghostwriting, article writing, whatever. If you go to Google, all those articles you see there, they are humans. They are humans that write those articles. And most of these bloggers don't even have time to write articles, to write blog posts and all the rest. They engage the services of people with the skills. Gamification, graphic design, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. You go to Facebook and all you do, you chat. Before you know it, you have spent 2 hours. You have bought your data. No kobo has dropped in your account. No, we have to change the narratives. And that is the truth. Data entry, prompt engineering, like I said, if you want to interact with ChatGPT, you don't go talking, please write this for me. No, you engage ChatGPT in a discussion. As a professional, somebody that has 10-year experience in this and this and this, can you do this and do this and do that? And you see ChatGPT bringing out the prompts for you. Now, when using this, we also talk about ethical concerns. When you get any content from ChatGPT, please, you also need to moderate it. You need to look at it. You need to be sure that it is telling you exactly what you want, so you can tweak it to what you want. And don't just copy verbatim, because plagiarism, if you submit that, if you're a student, your lecturers will obviously going to know. So social media manager, I've talked about that. A lot of very busy influencers or organizations or companies will not even have time to post on their pages every day, every now and then. They can involve you, and you do that for them. You manage it, and the calendar is there to even help you. In a month, you can set out all the posts for 1 month or for 1 week, and you can automate the process. Web design, I told you how I leveraged web design, and I help these people. Now, even as a web designer, you may not even be building sites. As long as you have the skill, what you do, you'll be managing websites for people, both local and international clients. Then affiliate marketing is everywhere. Affiliate marketing is so good that these are digital products. Now, you have something, services you can render. Yes. Just try and make sure you are unique in what you do. Recently, I was discussing with a salon, a lady. She just came into Abuja, and she said she knows how to make hair, but she cannot rent shop because, of course, shops are very expensive in Abuja. I said, okay, you know what you're going to do? Get small flyer. Go to supermarkets around where you live, drop them. Tell them that you're ready for house, what do they call it? Room service or house service or whatever. And then anyone you make the hair or the children's hair, write the day they made the hair. And after 2 or 3 weeks, remind them, you need to loosen the hair. You need to wash the hair. Can I come and help you to loosen your hair? So I had brought innovation into hair making business, hair making services. So that is how it should be. The moment you try to meet the pain points of people, solve problems, add value to people, and the money will come. You don't sit at home and be waiting for money. No, look around your neighborhood. What is not there? What should be there but not there? Meet the pain points of people, add value. Okay, so I've talked about content writing, drop shipping. Now, I have drop shipped some products that I didn't even see. I didn't see them. You got somebody maybe all the way from Abuja that wanted to buy something. I just connected the buyer and the seller, and you will make your commission. You don't need a warehouse. You don't need a warehouse. And recently I was also talking with somebody, and the person said, I want to go into business. Say, so what is stopping you? He said, money. I said, no, money is not stopping you. You are the one stopping yourself. Money is even the last thing that should come to your mind. And now I said, okay, how much would you need? No, not that I'm giving him. How much would you need? He's not even sure how much he needs. What do you want to go into? Say, if I see the money first, I say, what do you mean? So from the onset, you must know what you can do and do it and do it very well. So UI design, yes, we have seen the application apps, mobile apps. Some persons sat down and designed all those things, design the frame, the wire frame to say, okay, this place, you have the click button here that will link you to one place to the other. That is the user experience and user design. You can also do that. Virtual assistant, everybody's talking about virtual assistants. Yes, you see different groups creating virtual assistant. Why? We have very busy executives, both locally and internationally. You can be one of these and then you help them to work on their calendar, help them to schedule their meetings, do data entry jobs, do everything you can do for them. Digital marketing, I've already talked about that in your social media management, mobile app development, artificial intelligence and machine learning, video editing. All these content creators you see, they are only just to take videos. Some of them need editors like you and I. So it's okay, edit this for me. And meanwhile, you just sit down at home. You're not going to any office. That's if you are the stay-at-home mom or sister. You understand? So you do most of these things sitting at home. You package your skills in ebooks. Now I can teach web design, affiliate marketing, and cybersecurity, and this one, and that. And you can't really meet people one-on-one. You can package your skill. Package everything you have in a book, and then you sell your book. Go to seller, create an account, seller.co, create an account, push your book, advertise, tell people about it, leverage WhatsApp status from the contacts you have. Now, remote work and freelancing. If you're a graphic designer, you register in some of these freelancing platforms, tell people what you can do. Okay, so a whole lot and enough of all those things. So in essence, just carve a niche for yourself. Look at what you can do. Look at what you can do. You have church members. You have mosque members. You have where you make your hair. You have the market. You have people that sell things, that you buy things from, or they sell to you. Leverage that opportunity. Your cycle of influence, start from them first. Okay, so strategies for success. Don't worry, we're almost rounding up. Let's start from the girl child. I've seen some mothers, they will say, okay, people are back from school, well done, Ada, Yinka, Oya, go to the kitchen. They call the other boy, they will not even tell the boy anything. That is where it starts. So the girl child should be encouraged to pursue STEM education. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Very soon now, I'll be talking about the girl child, what is that they call it? Girl child, whatever. Trying to encourage the girl child. But even we that are here, we are parents, we are aunties. Let us encourage our girls. Our education will not end in the kitchen. God will not allow that to happen. Our education will end in the kitchen. And even at that, you still stay at home. Thank God for technology. Technology has broken the 4 walls of the university. It means that you can stay at home and earn your degree. You can stay at home and get whatever you want. Just the same way you could stay at home and make your transactions locally and internationally. Yes. Now take a course. Thank God for La Plage. They have series and series of courses. No matter what course you're looking for, they have it. Even if they don't have it, just tell us. Tell them. They will create that course for you. Now, we also have what they call the MOOC. This is a massive online open courses. I hope I'm correct. Massive. There are quite a lot of them. There are quite a lot of them you will take. They are short courses. The YouTube is our friend. Now, let me tell us a very short story. Somebody called me one and said, do you know how to, can you teach us Adobe what? I've forgotten again. And I said, yes. And I said, okay, so if you're able to get somebody, what will happen? They said, they're going to pay this and this amount. I said, okay, give me your terms. Do you know, I went to YouTube. Yes, this is open confession. So I went to YouTube. I watched different videos. And I got what I was looking for. When I reached out to the man, I said, let's have your date. When I went to train that set of people on that particular topic, I was even afraid of myself. I didn't pay anybody, that's the truth. I watched them on YouTube. So YouTube is your friend. As much as you will not have that one-on-one, conversation, like Laplace, any of their courses, the WhatsApp group is there. You can always ask questions, can do a follow-up. Okay. So constantly develop your IT skills to advance your career. Very important. Don't stop at where you are. And I'm not saying that you have to be master of everything. No. Have a niche for yourself. Get one, two, or three. Put all your efforts, put all your energy into it. Learn it. So when you come out, you tell them, yes, I am whatever, a web designer, a graphic artist. Just develop your skills. Don't stop telling us what happened in 20 whatever. Tell us what happened, what is happening in 2024, 25, and what happened next year. So you network and you collaborate. A lot of us do not network. You just sit in your house, your small corner, and that is all you have. Now, this is a very good platform for networking and collaboration. Now, something else that used to help me again, let me tell us. One, most of us, when you're in a group, when you're in a WhatsApp group and they say, introduce yourself, you see people telling us, say, my name is 𝐄𝐗𝐄𝐋 _. I'm in Abuja, full stop. That is all. But I will shock you to know that most of the projects I've handled, most of them came from introduction in a group. And I'm sure all of us here, we belong to at least 5, 6, 7 groups, different groups. So when you're asked to introduce yourself, please, it's an open check. Introduce yourself properly. I went for a program not too long and people were introducing themselves. And I introduced myself as I'm a web developer. I'll be like, oh, really? Are you a web developer? I said, yes. He said, can you show the projects you have handled? I showed them my projects. That gave me projects from them, from people I do not know. Because of networking, because of collaboration. So you're not just in that group. There are over 400 participants. Try and link up with some persons positively, practically, please. Now, mentorship, join women-focused tech communities for women. Everything I've been saying here is not only for women, but this one, for women, join women-focused tech communities. Like I told us when I started, I'm a member or I'm a professional member of Nigerian Women in Information Technology. They share opportunities. They share resources that can help you. Now, work-life balance. Please maintain healthy boundaries with digital consumption. Some of us do not sleep well because of Facebook, because of TikTok, because of Instagram. Not that they are doing anything meaningful. Like I told us, you just wake up in the morning, okay, let me just check something. Before you know it, you have seen WhatsApp, you have seen Facebook, you have seen everything, and then you have spent 2, 3 hours not achieving anything. Okay, we are rounding up. Now, as we try to maintain boundaries with digital consumption, please, this is very important. A lot is happening on this cyber space. Please, you need to be cautious. You need to be careful. Yes, we're talking about cyber security. Yes, we're talking about technology. Yes, women and technology. Please, we need to be careful because these bad guys are also not resting. In fact, they are 2 steps ahead of us. They're not resting. Remember, we have your footprints, your digital footprints are there. The sites you visited or you visit, your login credentials, a whole lot. That's what we call the personally identifiable information, like your name, like your email address, like your phone number, like your BVN, those personal things. Be very discreet about them when you're sharing them, when you're giving them out. Your system can also be exposed to malware, viruses. Those of us that are very, very interested, oh, you see free Wi-Fi, you have logged in, you have started downloading. Be very careful what you're downloading. Because behind some of those free apps, free this one, free that, you might be downloading malware into your system. So you need to be careful. Again, the internet does not forget. I have handled cases of people that paid money into accounts they're not supposed to pay. So we need to be careful. We need to be very, very careful, please. Then spread your IT skills around. Don't say you're a web developer or you're a graphic designer and you just keep them to yourself. We have some platforms. We have LinkedIn. I'm not promoting any platform. You have your Facebook account, whatever you do, start. Share your CV. Start with family members. Talk to people around you. Get internship programs. Like in Nigeria, we call them IT, right? IT. Sideways. Whatever name you give it. Just take like 2 months, 3 months, go for internship. You may not be paid, but you get the knowledge. Okay? So I need to be rounding up now. All right, so we talked so much about skills, digital skills. So let's rest a little from digital skills. Now, you also need soft skills. Very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Your communication skills, very important. Active listening skills. Some persons, before you start the discussion, they had finished it for you. Leadership skills, negotiation skills, decision making, problem solving, critical thinking, time management, teamwork, relationship building, emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, empathy. I just listed them. We already know what they all stand for. I want people to ask questions, so that's why I'm a bit fast. Now, career opportunities. There was one time I did a program and I shared this, and I'm sharing this again. Now, you don't have to be like me that started from the scratch as a computer scientist. Please. So don't tell me that you don't have degree in computer science. No, it is not an excuse. In fact, people from different places now are even part of it. So even whatever you have, just carve a niche for technology. Don't stay and say, no, it is not my thing. No, I'm not caught up for technology. No. Please. So any of these ones here, starting from IT manager, cloud manager, whatever, just look at them. All right. So finally, call to action. After these things I have said, I want to conclude by saying that the illiterate of the 21st century, the illiterate woman, the illiterate girl, the illiterate man of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. That's not what we're talking about. Before you say, oh, this person is an illiterate. My grandmother is an illiterate. This one, you see them abusing themselves. No. So it is not those that cannot read nor write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the truth. It is either you're on the side that you need to learn what you don't know, or learn what you have learned, those myths that you believed that our fathers told us, that as a woman, you cannot make it. As a woman, no. Yeah, they must not hear your voice. No. As a woman, no. You have to be, no. You have all those myths. Then the things you have learned before, you need to relearn them. The ones that you're sure you have not grasped, please go and relearn. Seek for help. People you know that can help you. Seek for help. Then the future is digital. That's the truth. Whether we like it or not, the future is digital. Remember when so many years, we cannot take calculator into the exam hall, true or false? Please use your best emoji to signal what I'm saying. You cannot take a calculator. They say, no, calculators are not allowed. Instead, we'll give you what? 4-figure table. I just remember that now. 4-figure table. But now what is happening? Use a calculator. Now, when the ATM came out, people were like, oh, I can't put my money in a card. No, it's not possible. No. So what is happening now? If you don't have your ATM, your card, your debit card, I don't know the generation you belong. So the future is digital, whether you like it or not. whether you key into it or not, whether you accept it or not, the future is digital. AI is doing a lot of things. Don't be left behind. Just the way I've told myself, I'm not going to be left behind. And women are at the forefront of this transformation. Of course, yes, it's a transformation. Women have told us we have to change the narratives. The trajectory of women and technology, we just have to do something. Okay, so my last slide. Yeah, what next? Get started. Today, yesterday was another opportunity. Today is another great one. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Don't say, wait, after. Okay, so what I'm saying, get started. Look for something you need to do. Don't sit at home. Yes, prayers are good, other things are good, but get your hands dirty. Get some things to do. Think out of the box. Look around you. Look at that woman that has products that are not selling. Go and talk to people about the products. Sell the product and get a little commission. Because the problem, the main thing is the turnover. Okay, so I think I've exhausted my time. I don't know how many minutes. So, okay, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts about women
Thank you very
and
much, ma'am.
technology. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Yes, thank you so much, Ma. It was an interesting section. Yes, please, I would really want your feedback on the chat, but just tell us how was the lecture, because I don't think me alone saying it she might believe it. So please, I want Doc to believe what I'm saying, that our section was really interesting one. So please, I want if you feel the same with me, can you just type that on the chat bar? Then after that, we'll take questions. Yeah. Okay. Doc, do you believe what I'm saying now? You can check the chat.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. Please, if you have any question, type it. Just send it to the chat. She will pick it up from there. Yes, please, if you have any question, you can just type your question down, then we'll pick it up from there. Someone said that I was doing this section. He said, "You're busting my brain, ma'am. Seeing women speaking tech gives me joy."
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, the recorded version will be sent to the WhatsApp platform. Is it? Please, let's ask question. Okay, someone is asking, going into IT support, how can one start and go about it?
Okay, do I react to that? Because I'm not seeing
Yes,
the
ma'am.
message. Okay. Now, going into IT support, well, it all depends on what you want to do. Now, do you want to support on site, or you want to support virtually? Yes, that's the question. Now, if you want to support on site, you must have the prerequisite knowledge. Are you supporting in the desktop application? Are you supporting server? Are you supporting? It all depends on what you're supporting and what you want to support and your area of interest and specialty, because you cannot support everything. And if you want to do that remotely, you need an application, you need some software to remotely connect to your client system. For instance, there was a day somebody was trying to do something on his laptop, trying to add page numbering, I think, or something like that. The person wanted to omit the first page. She doesn't want the first page to have any numbering. So she wanted to start page 1 from the second page. And it was difficult for her to do. So she reached out and I remotely connected to her system. Yes, there are applications that gives you access to, remotely control somebody's system. And from there, we're able to resolve it. This person I'm telling is not even in Nigeria. Okay. So yes, you can do that. You need the skills to do that. And there are some applications that should help you to do that. I hope I've answered the question.
Okay, thank you, Ma. I think there's another question here. Ma, is it possible for you to train or set up a training on any or some of the skills? That's the last message on the chat bar.
Okay, to train, sorry? Come again,
He
please.
said, is it possible for you to train or set up a training on any or some of the skills?
Oh, yes.
So I think,
Go ahead,
okay,
please.
I'm with you, ma.
Okay. Now we have Laplace. Like I told us, Laplace has a lot of courses. Now, any of these courses you need, Laplace is there to give to you. Yes, I also train people, but I don't train on everything I listed there. I don't want to be jack of all trade. I don't train everything I listed. As much as I have idea of what they are, what they do, what we should accomplish with any of those skills, I do not train all. I have a couple of them that I train, yes, but I do not train all. But Laplace is also there. There are times most of these things are even free, including certificates. And there are times you need to pay just a token, to get this knowledge and get your certificate too. So yes, I train, Laplace train, yes. Okay, so
okay, thank you, ma. Yeah,
yes.
Someone also asked that I want you to advise me on the fact that there is so many things going on in my head. So should I try multiple ideas or just concentrate on or just concentrate and develop on one?
Okay, I think I mentioned this. It's not good to be jack of all trades, especially if that is not your foundation, right? So the best thing, usually what I tell people, what do you like doing? What do you like doing? Thinking, what do you like doing? Some persons like me, I could stay on the laptop for hours, but that is what I like doing. So what do you like doing? Everything still boils down to you. What do you like doing? What services do you want? If you want to go into web design, why do you want to go into web design? If you want to go into cybersecurity, digital marketing, whatever, why? What is the reason behind it? So because on the internet, like I told us, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you're not careful, you get saturated with information, different sorts. You can watch different videos. At the end of the day, you'd even be confused which one is actually telling you what to do. So you need to list out some of these things according to priorities. Okay, are you somebody that can think out of the box? Are you creative? Will somebody just walk up to you and say, see, I want to design a flyer without anything? Can you just come up with something nice for that person? So you know that you're tending towards graphic design. Do you look at website and say, this website is beautiful. I wish I can design something like this. Yes, you look that direction. And if your flair is, okay, I want to concentrate on running Facebook ads for people, that alone is enough for you. By the time you get like 5 or 10 clients that you're running Facebook ads for, it's enough for you, at least for a start. Do you have knowledge that people don't even know, they're not aware of. You can package for them. Do you write? You get bloggers. They will help you to write. Yeah, you help them to write, and you're paid. Like someone that is writing, for 500 words, I think he charges about $12, $15 for 500 words. So it depends on, I mean, it depends on you. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on your exposure and, your experience in some of these things. And by the way, you don't have to be an expert in these things. Truth, you don't have to be an expert. Okay, I hope I've answered that. I don't want to overflow that.
Yes, ma. There's this question. Someone is asking, please, ma, can WhatsApp and Facebook app be run for free? I don't know if it's app or it's ad the person wanted to type.
Cannot, if you run Facebook for free, you don't want Mark to chop. Okay, so no, it's not for free. You pay for the number of days that you want your Facebook to run. Yes, they can't do that. They can't be showing your services, your products to probably the group of persons or people you want them to show. They can't do that free of charge for you. Mark will not do that free of charge, please. So you have to pay. But the WhatsApp, you can leverage WhatsApp. You can leverage WhatsApp. There are times before I even run ads, I'll get this product and put them on my WhatsApp status, testing the waters to see, okay, will people even like this? Because most times the products that you see and you feel, no, this is a very good product. By the time you do some sampling, you just see that people will not be interested. And if you had used your money to buy a whole lot of these products, then I mean, it's a very serious problem for you. So start with your WhatsApp, start with your contacts, the contacts on your WhatsApp. Okay, so.
Okay, I think I will be picking just 2 more questions.
Okay.
Yes, so Ma, I love writing. I have written a couple of articles and essay, but then I'm confused on what area of tech I should venture into. Can I combine ghostwriting, copywriting, and content writing all at once?
If you're a writer, you're a writer. That's the truth. And most times people will tell you the niche to write. It could be the health, on health, on e-commerce, on education, on politics, whatever. They will tell you what they want. Okay, right. They'll give you the keywords. In fact, that is what they give you, keywords. Write 1,000 words, keywords on this particular topic. They will give you. So you can combine them, yes. There's the ghost writer. You see people writing books for others. They will just pay you, but your name will not appear there. That's a ghost writer. Or you are the one doing the work and then you're being paid. So yes, content writer, copywriter. Copywriters, you see some of these ads that you see, all those eye-catching titles, they're work of copywriters. They'll give you very good eye-catching titles. And say, okay, no, if you don't buy this today, you're losing out. They make sure there is this speed, like you must buy today, buy now. So that whatever they do will lead you to the call to action button. Either buy now, learn more, and all that. So yes, you can combine. As long as you have what it takes to combine these things. We don't combine them if you don't know what to do. Yes, truly you can combine.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. So there's the last question. Do you think that enabling our children to the tech and skills acquisition at the primary school will be a priority?
Yes, we need to catch them young. I mentioned this thing, the girl child. Whether it's a girl child, we need to catch them young. And that is the difference between us and the Western states. Okay, their children, they'll give them devices. They will start by giving them lots and lots of devices. At the end of the day, they will now narrow it to the one the child is always playing with. That's how they start their own. Okay, but we here in Nigeria, if you see children I used to see them on Facebook. When the child is eating, the child has, is it laptop, iPad? When they remove the iPad from the child is frustrated, the child is depressed. That's not the kind of thing we're talking about. Parents will just expose their children. They don't even check the number of hours. Why don't you say, okay, do this, be with this iPad for 2 hours. After that, we cut it for the day. Because children are also exposed to risk and cyber threats, like cyberbullying is there. Identity theft is also there. A child, a malicious adult might be talking to a child and be getting sensitive information from that child without the parent's consent. So if the child is not monitored, it's good to give them technology, but they need to be monitored. And there are also some applications, there are some features on our device for children. There are some you can turn off so that unnecessary pop-ups will not start popping up your screen. And because the children, they're only just to click and click and click, you may not know what they will click that will land them to somewhere. We had cases of, I don't know how many, 2-3 years back, when a child was, cornered somewhere, and maybe that child was killed or was, I don't know. But, because of the exposure to technology, to the internet, to devices, because the way you are exposed, they're also exposed. They have internet-enabled devices, just the way the adults also have their own internet-enabled devices. And Laplage is aware, Doctor is aware, there was a time we developed an application that could help to monitor the activities of our children online. So whether you are there, whether you're not there, that application monitors what they do online. And in fact, you can even snap the applications that are running on the child system to know what the child is viewing at every point in time. You can even snap the child's camera unknown to the child. That way you know if your child is in a known environment or not. Perhaps if a friend had come to take the child somewhere, you, after seeing the pictures or whatever, you will just decide. It will help you to make informed decision that, okay, no, I don't know this environment, and then you call your child. So all that, yes, it is good to expose our children to tech, but then there are also associated risks, involved in it. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. We really enjoyed your lecture. Yes. So we're going to call it a day. But before then, please, I want to say something. After the Zoom section, we will start issuance of certificates. And I think I would use like maybe 2 minutes now to just explain how this process works, because I think some of us sometimes find it difficult to get our certificates. So I'm going to be dropping a write-up that's to the WhatsApp class. I will drop a write-up which explains how to go about our certificates. So I will just I will say that everyone should just please try to go through this write-up, like from the beginning to the end. Just read through it. When you're done reading through the message which shows you the step on how to get your certificate, then you go and click on the link. So now, if you don't have everybody should have one dashboard, one student dashboard. So if you do not have a dashboard, you need to create a dashboard by signing up. But if you already have a dashboard, all you need to do is just to click on the link, put in your dashboard email and password. And I would advise that you can even change your password to, when you log into your dashboard, you can change it to a very easy password that you will easily remember. Something simple, something easy, so that whenever you are going back there, it will be easy for you to access. So now you just need to click on the link, you go through the material. The material this time, they are all video. You watch the videos given to you, then you take the test, which is 20 questions. Yes, and you need to score 60% and above before you can get your certificate. When you've scored 60% and above, then you go to the certificate section to download your certificate. I'm going to use a voice note to follow this up on the WhatsApp section, so that it will be easy for everyone to get, because I want everybody to get their certificate. Like, that we participated in the Zoom section, the WhatsApp section, and please let's get this certificate. It's really it's important. Yes, I'm going to put it that way. It's a very important certificate. So let's try to get it since we're getting it even for free, because most of the time it's actually paid, but because of this program 𝐂𝐗𝐄𝐋, that's why we're giving it for free. So I want everyone to get the certificate, please. And I'll open this platform by tomorrow morning. So if you have any challenges, you can send your complaint there. I want to appreciate our guest speaker, our first speaker, which was Professor 𝐂𝐄𝐄𝐋, and our second speaker, Dr. Grace Ejenti. Thank you so much for your beautiful and wonderful lecture. I'm sure we took not just one or two, like we are taking. Actually, I took up to 20 good points, if not more than that. So I'm sure most of us took a lot from this section. And if you won't have any questions for them, you can just, when I open the WhatsApp platform by tomorrow, you can drop the question and you can tag the speaker. If it's for Professor 𝐂𝐿 or for Dr. Grace, you have the question for, just write their name and the question. I'm going to forward it to them. Then when they send me their reply, I'm going to send back their reply to you. This Zoom session is recorded, and the recorded version will also be sent to the WhatsApp platform tomorrow. So thank you all for taking your time. This program started on I think, was it Monday? Yeah, on Tuesday. On Tuesday until now, we find the time like 7 to 9 o'clock. I know most of us is our resting hours, but we still take it just to learn more, which is really benefit to everyone here. And I want to say good night, everyone. You can also type good night on the chat bar, and I hope we all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Good night, ma.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night, ma'am. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Really enjoy the lectures, and it's so beneficial. And you've made me know is
Mo ṣe lẹ́ṣọ̀ yìí mo ti sùn lọ. Mo kàn gbọ́ tó sọ pé good night everybody.